Welcome back, lore masters, to Lions of Arun. Today, we delve into the heart of the Briar Guild to uncover the story of its fiery soul, Cleio, the Cinderheart. She's more than just a sorceress. She's a storm of defiance, a blaze of loyalty, and one of the three pillars holding up a clandestine empire in Arun's shadows. So, gather round the campfire, and let's ignite the tale of the white-skinned tiefling who dared to forge a legacy. From the ashes of her cursed heritage, from the moment she was born, Cleio was an anomaly. In a world where tieflings are already viewed with suspicion, her appearance set her even further apart. Her skin, a pale, almost luminescent white, seemed to drink in the torchlight of the undercove, casting a faint, otherworldly sheen. This stark canvas made her other features all the more dramatic. Long, flowing black hair, streaked with vivid red highlights that shimmered like dying embers. And her eyes smoldered with an orange-red glow, a constant reminder of the infernal power churning within her. Adding to her striking visage are the sleek, curved horns that jut from her forehead, jet black with subtle red striations that echo the fire in her hair. They're small, yet sharp, lending her an air that is both regal and dangerous. A slender, whip-like tail, white like her skin but tipped with a dark red point, often betrays her emotions, swaying restlessly when she's tense, or lying perfectly still when her focus is absolute. Standing at around 5'6", Cleio possesses a lithe, graceful build that combines a sorcerer's elegance with a rogue's deadly agility. Every movement is fluid, precise, and carries an almost predatory grace. Her attire is as practical as it is symbolic. She wears dark, tailored robes accented with crimson embroidery, featuring the subtle thorn motifs that mark her as a co-founder of the Briar. Clutched in her hand or coiled at her hip is her signature weapon, a thorned whip that seems to smolder with faint cinders, ready to ignite at her command. Her clawed fingers, which can spark with a snap to call forth her magic, are adorned with simple silver rings etched with infernal runes. Even the air around her carries a faint scent of ash and brimstone, a constant echo of the power she wields. But who is the woman behind the flames and horns? At her core, Cleio is fiercely defiant. She carries the weight of her infernal lineage not as a curse, but as a challenge to be overcome. She is intensely loyal to the few she allows into her inner circle, especially her co-founders, Quillen, Nightshade, and Grease. For everyone else, her warmth is hidden beneath a fortress of sharp wit and a readiness to strike first. Her emotions burn as hot as her magic. Whether it's anger, passion, or sheer determination, she feels everything with an intensity that could shatter lesser individuals. Yet, she tempers this inner fire with a calculated mind, making her a truly formidable leader. Her charisma is undeniable. She commands loyalty within the Briar not through fear alone, but with a courage and vision that inspires others to believe in their cause. Her sorcery isn't just a weapon. It's a declaration that she will not be defined by the whispers and prejudices surrounding her bloodline. However, this same fire is also her greatest flaw. Her temper can flare at the slightest hint of betrayal or disrespect, sometimes clouding her judgment in critical moments. The scars of her past have made her wary of trust, and her unspoken feelings for Quillen create a constant inner conflict. She fears that embracing vulnerability, even for love, could become the very weakness that unravels everything she's fought to build. You can often see her inner world reflected in her mannerisms. When deep in thought, she'll unconsciously conjure tiny embers that dance between her fingertips. When annoyed, her tail will flick with sharp, irritated movements. And just before she unleashes a devastating spell, or a particularly biting remark, a confident smirk will play on her lips. It's the last thing many of her enemies ever see. As a sorcerer of an infernal bloodline, Cleio's magic is a raw, untamed force. She specializes in potent, fire-based spells. From sudden fiery bursts that incinerate her foes to scorching rays that melt through armor. Her thorned whip is a conduit for this power. With a crack, she can channel her magic through it, leaving trails of cinders or igniting enemies on contact. She's not just about brute force, though. Her tiefling heritage grants her minor illusionary tricks, perfect for misdirection. And she's adept at enchantments that can bend minds or instill paralyzing fear. In combat, she is a whirlwind of magic and motion. She fights alongside Quillen's silent strikes and Grease's clever traps, using her area of effect spells to control the battlefield. She might erect a wall of fire to cut off reinforcements or unleash a dazzling flare to blind Drow scouts just as Quillen moves in for the kill. Outside of a fight, her sharp mind and natural charisma make her a master of persuasion and intimidation. Her deep knowledge of infernal lore and ancient runes has proven invaluable to the Briar, helping them decipher secrets that others couldn't even begin to comprehend. Cleio's journey began in a ruined temple, a place of forgotten power. It was there, surrounded by glowing infernal runes, that her latent sorcery fully awakened. It was a terrifying, yet liberating moment that set her on a path of defiance. She refused to be a monster, a pariah, or a victim. Instead, she would become a force to be reckoned with. This resolve led her to Quillen Nightshade, the Drow rogue known as the Thorn, and Grease, a cunning, orange-scaled kobold. Together, in the shadowy depths of runes under Cove, they carved the sigil of the Briar into stone, a vow of unity between three outcasts. Cleio's magic provided the fire, Quillen's stealth the shadow, and Grease's cunning the foundation for what would become their burgeoning empire. Cleio's magic provided the fire, Quillen's stealth the shadow, and Grease's cunning the foundation for what would become their burgeoning empire. Her leadership has been tested time and again. One of the most defining moments came when a traitor within the Briar nearly succeeded in poisoning Quillen. It was Cleio's instincts, her fierce protectiveness, that saved him. A single, cold glare and a spark of raw magic erupting from her hand was enough to expose the plot and stop the assassin in their tracks. In that moment, her role as the guild's fiery protector was cemented forever. This protective bond, especially with Quillen, is the central conflict and driving force in her life. The connection between the tiefling sorceress and the Drow rogue is palpable. It's seen in the moonlit skirmishes against Drow scouts, where her fire illuminates his shadow dances. It's felt in the quiet moments by the campfire, where her clawed fingers might briefly brush against his scarred arm, their ember and violet eyes locking in a silent exchange of emotions too complex for words. She always pulls away, terrified that this bond, this vulnerability, could compromise their leadership and endanger the family she's built. But it is this very tension that also fuels their incredible strength as a duo. Alongside Quillen and Grease, Cleio guards the secrets of the hidden, a mysterious group of dragon-blooded watchers bound by ancient oaths. Her own infernal lineage seems to be tied to these mysteries, hinting at a far deeper connection between fiendish powers and Rune's draconic lore than anyone suspects. Her ultimate motivation is a form of redemption not just for herself, but for every member of the Briar. She is determined to prove that outcasts, the feared and the forgotten, can carve their own legacy into the world. Her magic is her rebellion, and her bond with her friends is her anchor in the storm. Cleio is a symbol of fire and thorns, destruction and growth, pain and protection. She is the cinder heart of the Briar, a beacon of defiance in the darkness. Her story is a reminder that our origins do not have to define our destiny. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of the Briar. What secrets do you think Cleio's infernal bloodline holds? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this dive into Rune's lore, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Lions of Rune, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Until next time, may your path be lit.